Hello everybody, my name is GhostBit, and today's episode we are going to show you how to effectively use our health system that we created in the last tutorial, and we're going to put it into effect. So we're going to interact with an enemy, and he's going to take damage on our health bar, and we're also going to create a little health icon, and he's going to heal us whenever we're around his field. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so off the bat, you're noticing some different changes than the last episode. All I've added was the ability to move our player. So I've added a variable, a constant speed, and I've added the value of 500. And then here I made a function, a physics process, and I basically passed input vector, which was equal to vector 2.0. I'm not going to go way too in depth with this, but this is a very simple but straightforward way to make the player move up, down, left, and right. Make sure you go to project settings, input, and make sure you create your actions to move. Let's go ahead and do that now, actually. I'm going to do left, right, up, and down. And then feel free to map them wherever you like. I'll go ahead and do this with the actual commands here. Left, right, up, down. You can also do WASD, whatever is comfortable for you. With that being said, that this code should work, but let's go ahead and test this out to make sure we are up and running. And voila, we have a very simple move. Okay, but that wasn't the main thing. So the main thing is we want to create an enemy and we want him to damage our player here. So that is exactly what we are going to do. So we're going to create a brand new node here, and we're going to do another character body 2D, and we're simply going to call him enemy. Okay, so I went ahead and filled my character body 2D with the basics, the collision shapes, a sprite. Let's go ahead and change the color of the sprite here so we can detect that this is an enemy. Let's just do texture. No, it's actually visibility. Modulate, and then we're gonna make them red. There you go. And then, so I've attached an area 2D. And this is basically going to be our way of detecting when we've detected the player. So I'm actually going to rename this to player detect. And then we're going to attach a collision shape, and we're going to make this into a circle. And we want to stretch out this circle here. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and save our enemy. And we're going to, yeah, we'll call him enemy. Save it, and then we're going to go to our project settings here, and we're going to go to general, and we're going to search 2Z physics. And for layer 1, we're going to label this as player. Voila. And the reason why we want to do this is you're going to see in a second. So for the player detect, let's see here, we want the area to activate when it detects the player. So we're going to go over to our collision tab here, and we're going to delete this one, and we're going to leave mask alone. Layer basically means that what he identify as, and mask basically means what he is detecting. Right now we want our enemy to detect the player, and we want to make sure the player has the same thing. In the character body 2D itself, we want to search for the same thing, which is collision, and we're going to uncheck mask because he's not detecting himself, but he is detecting, well, he is labeled as the player. So that is exactly what we want. So that way this puts our area to work, and then we can just save that. Okay, we have the basics things going and working. So now we're going to attach a script, and we're going to do create. Okay. So the first thing I want to create is, we're going to call this damage underscore amount. It's going to equal to, we're going to do 20. This is basically going to store how much damage the enemy will make to the player. So then we're going to go ahead and connect the signal now. Now, before I continue, there's several different ways to damage the player. This is the simplest way. This is the most easy way to understand how to do damage to a player or vice versa. There, keep in mind there are so many different ways to do it. I figured I'll share this one with you because this is the most easiest to understand and the easiest to get going and move on. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on player detect on the enemy, and we're going to switch to node, and notice it says signals. Now we are going to do body entered. Body entered detects if a physics body 2D or a tile map. It's basically detecting the main thing here, which is a kinematic body, a character body, as you can say. If we were to do the other one, the area enter, then it's detecting if there's another area. We don't want to do another area enter because this won't work, because then we would need to create another area 2D within the player. Since the player is a character body 2D, then this is easier for us to just simply do body entered. So we're going to do body entered because we want to detect the character body or a physics body, which is what a character body is. We're going to connect, and we're going to connect to the enemy, the main script. And voila, it has plugged in a signal here. So basically, we want the signal to do something here. We basically want to detect the player. What I always do is whenever I'm handling signals, I want to make sure everything is working. So what I'm going to do is simply do print. And within the print, I'm going to type in, let's see, I did double quotes. It'll still work, but yeah. Hello, foe. Horribly misspelled. No, that's correct. Uh, no way, that is misspelled. Well, let's see. Hello, foe. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna hit save. Or actually, we need to instantiate the enemy into the field. Let's get the enemy into the main scene here. Switch to W so I can move him. We'll do right there. Okay, so we want to see if this is all working, our signals. So we're going to drag our test window off here, and it's already working. I think I put him way too close. I think I did. Hold on. I put him way too close. Do that, and then the player. We want to move the player. Let's try again. Oh, see? So we already have an issue because he's already detecting hello foe. So let's go back. And we want to make sure we got everything correct. Collision. See? We didn't change the enemy's character body to these. Since we connected a body signal, it's detecting itself. So we have to remove that as well. So we're going to hit Control S. Because we did that for the player detect, but we didn't do that to the enemy itself. Now, if we go ahead and test this out again, voila, he's not detecting himself because he doesn't identify himself as the player. And, oh, there you go. Hello, foe. And then it runs it every time we enter the thing. Now, the reason why it's not detecting it till it's like close up is because I forgot to change the collision shape. This is what sets it off, and I made it very small. So we're going to go ahead and make sure this is huge enough, the size of the player. So make sure your collision shape is the same size as the sprite. And voila, that was an easy fix. So now that we know that our enemy is detecting the signal, we're just going to go ahead and now plug in what we need to plug in. And remember, the code that we made in the last tutorial was very, very flexible. All we have to do is simply call this function, and that's it. That's all we need to do. But before we do that, we want to make sure the enemy detects that a player has entered, and we want that person to react. So all we're going to do is go to our player. We're going to go to node, and we're going to click on groups. And then in groups, we're going to type in the word player. Make sure you remember exactly how you type it. Spelling is important here. We're just going to do player. All lowercase word player. So now he has a tag that's called player. So all we can do now is go back to the enemy, and in this script, we're going to space this out, and we're going to do if body. Now you're asking yourself, where'd you get the word body? There is a built-in variable here that's called body. So we can call this whenever it detects. But right now, body doesn't do anything. It's just blank. So we're going to use body, just saying, hey, if this is activated, if this works, but if this body that we have detected is underscore in group. And then we're going to do player. Now what we're plugging in here is the tag, what we attached to the player just now. We're basically saying, hey, if we've detected a body and this body happens to have a tag that is player, then do this action. And what we're going to do is simple. We're going to pass our function, because now it is accessing whatever this tag that is player has attached to it. And we have a script, and in that script we have a function that's called take damage. And as we did in the last class, we passed a value, and as you can tell, that's exactly what we're going to do for the enemy. We're simply going to type in body dot take damage, and in it we're going to pass damage amount because we created that variable within the enemy. And with that being said, and let's go ahead and to make sure this really works, we're just going to comment out these things because we no longer need to test to see if our code works. So we're just going to comment this out because we don't need it anymore. And then that should be it. Okay, now let's go ahead and test and see if this works. So now, if we get near the enemy, and you know what, let's go ahead and launch collision shapes so that way we can see the collision shape of the enemy when we're testing this out. Okay, so we can physically see the area 2D. We want to make sure this works. So we're going to get very close to it, and then voila, we've taken damage. See? And we've coded it in a way where it only takes damage when it detects the enemy immediately. This is exactly what we wanted. See? And we die once we've dealt too much damage. Oh, right. This is great. Now, we want to create a way to heal the player as well. And before we create a health icon, we want to go back to our script, and we're going to create that function actually. And that function is actually way more easier than you think. In fact, it's going to be exactly what we wrote here, but except for we're going to heal ourselves. But before, let's see here. So that's what we're going to write. So let's go ahead and get started on that. We're going to do function, and we're going to simply call it heal. And within that, we're going to pass heal amount. We're going to create heal amount, and that's going to be our restriction when someone is calling this function. And then what we're going to do is current health is plus or equals heal amount. So we're doing the exact opposite. Oops, I didn't type that in right. There you go. We're doing the exact opposite of what we do with take damage. We're saying, hey, update our current health and minus it with whatever the damage amount is on take damage. Whereas in heal, we're doing the exact opposite. Hey, update our health and add it to whatever the heal amount is. And then we want to make sure we cap it so that way we're not constantly healing. So we're going to do if current health is greater than max health. Remember, we wrote that a while back. That was one of the first things we wrote. This is capping, saying 100. So we want to say, hey, if we're healing and it happens to be greater than our max health, then we're basically setting our current health. Oh, I forgot to write the if statement. Duh. Current health equals max health. This is just to, oops, best if I equals max health. This is just to basically to protect our coding here, so that way, hey, don't get past whatever our max health is. We don't want any weird bugs doing that. And then of course we want to update our health bar that we've created, and this is exactly what we did. In fact, we can just copy and paste what we did here. Control C. Yeah, we can just copy and paste that. Just delete the. There you go. When you just copy and paste, it will work the same way because we're updating our health bar value. And that's basically healing. And we're going to, of course, create a health node now so that way we can make sure this works. Okay, so I've basically done the exact same thing that I did with the enemy. The only big difference is that this is just a simple node 2D. That's all I did, but everything's literally the same thing. And then for collision, we want to only detect the player. And we want to make sure the health node doesn't have that. In fact, it doesn't have that at all because it's not a character body. So we don't have to worry about that. So we're just simply saying, hey, we're looking for a tag that's called player. We're going to go ahead and save this, of course. Feel free to pause the video and copy what I had. And I just simply added a sprite and I changed it to green. And now we're going to go ahead and save. Control S, health node. And we're going to make a script. And it's going to be exactly the same thing, actually. We're going to do the same thing. In heal area, we're going to go ahead and connect. We're going to do node signals. And it's the same thing. We're detecting the body entered. And we're going to do the exact same thing, but this time we're going to do body dot heal. And we're going to pass a value, and we can go ahead and be fancy and make a variable for that. Variable, and we're going to call it heal amount equals, we're going to do 20. And then we're going to pass in heal amount there. So heal amount. We're doing the exact same thing as the enemy who took damage. We're calling, hey, if whatever enters in this body has a function that's called heal, then we're going to pass in heal amount within it because that's the only parameter that we are looking for. And let's go ahead and save, Control S. We're going to instantiate them into the scene here. Let's get in our health node and let's go ahead and move them in like the corner of the room here. Perfect. So now, if we run this, we are taking damage, as you can see. And then if we run to him, we are now healing. See? And we can't go past our max health because we put that security. So that way we are never healing past what our health bar is. So that way we can always take the same damage back in the max health here. And that is how you use our health system into action. Now, in the next video, we are going to make it so that way whenever we're taking damage, the health bar appears and then it disappears after a certain amount of time. That will be the last video tutorial on our health system. I do hope you liked and enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comment down below. Again, there's several different ways to do damage. This is the most simplest way you can do it. There are variants of other ways to take damage. And another way to give you guys is to hint as to how you can implement this into your game. And another way as to how you can implement this into your game is that the enemy node here that we created, this could be a bullet. This could be like an enemy bullet, or maybe this could be like the enemy weapon. And then whenever he's swinging his weapon, this is literally the code for it. Preferably, I would probably do this for a bullet, and then that will be the damage here. Same thing with the health. In fact, what we can do is like you can easily attach a Q free after this, and the enemy would just like go away if you're making like a bullet. I'm just giving you guys some hints as to how you can go about implementing this in whatever game you are making. And this doesn't have to be top down, this could be platform as well. That's how flexible our code is here. So if you have any questions, comment down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Hit that subscribe button. There's one more tutorial video here. We're going to go over how to make the health bar appear when the damage is taken and how to make it disappear. And we'll probably have some fun with it and add some like small animation effects to really make it more juicy. Thank you all for watching. My name is GhostBit, and I'll see you in the next video.